Hello students, my name is Professor Anil Kumar. I am running one institute in Chandigarh since 1995. This institute is one of the oldest institutes in this region. Up till now, more than 2000 students have cleared in various central and state services. This institute, which was established in 1995, is located in Sector 32, Chandigarh. Today, I will be discussing with you the importance of history subject for UPSC aspirants. I will be discussing with you history from the general study point of view. History, if we see, is a very important subject. In 2012, in the preliminary, there were 17 questions out of 100. Again in 2014, there were 17 questions out of 100 questions. And in 2019, once again there were 17 questions out of history. So history had a strong hold in the general study. We can see this weightage of the history from this graph of the UPSC a year wise, right from 2011 to up till 2019. Now, I'll be giving you the brief introduction of history. Firstly, we'll be discussing the chronology. Indian history begins from Indus Valley Civilization to 1947. It is a huge and heavy, bulky subject. For the convenience of the students, historians bifurcated it into three parts: ancient, medieval, and modern. Ancient is from Indus Valley to the 1000 AD. The date of the Indus Valley civilization is 2500 BC. It is also called as the Sindhu Sabhyata. Then comes the medieval India, which is also known as the Muslim rule in India. Its period is from 1000 to 1700 780. It is further bifurcated into the two parts. One, the Delhi Sultanate, which is from 1206 to 1526 AD. Second is Mughals, 1526 to 1707 AD. Then the third part is modern India. Modern India is very, very important because the modern India is included in the mains. Ancient and medieval is not included in the mains as per the UPSC syllabus. Modern India is in preliminary as well as in the mains. It is from 1707 to 1947. It is further divided in two blocks. One, later Mughals, which is from 1707 to 1857. And the second is the British rule 1857 to 1947. So this was the broad bifurcation of the Indian history. Indus Valley Civilization. Its period is from 2500 BC to 1650 BC. Then second is the Vedic Age. Its period is from 1650 to 6th century BC. It is divided in two parts. Early Vedic period, which is from 1650 to 1000 BC. The later Vedic period is from 1000 to 6th century BC. In 6th century BC, two important events took place. One, the whole of the country was divided into 16 Janpad. Janpad. Jan means people, Pad means territory. It's a Sanskrit word. And combining these two, Jan and Pad, comes to the state. So entire country was divided into 16 Janpads or Mahajanpads, which is known as the second urbanization in India, the first being the Indus Valley Civilization. The second one is another very important aspect, that is the rise of the two sects, Buddhism and Jainism. And this period also includes the rise of the Mauryan Empire up to the 4th century BC. In 4th century BC, the first historical empire was set up, that is Mauryas. There are various views about the word Mauryas that we'll discuss in the forthcoming lectures. It is considered as the first historical dynasty in India, whose period is from 320 to 186 BC. Their first king is Chandragupta Maurya, who ruled from 320 to 298 BC. Then he was succeeded by his son, Bindusar. Bindusar ruled from 298 to 272 BC. Bindusar is said to be the first Caesarean in the world. This shows that in India, there can be a Caesarean in the 3rd century BC. So much of science was advanced in India at that time. Then come Ashok. Ashok ruled from 269 to 232 BC. There's a gap of 4 years. Why? Because it is said that Bindusar had 101 sons. Ashok killed his 99 brothers, spared the life of the younger one, Sumana. And he kept on fighting with his brothers while killing the 99 brothers. And it took 4 years for his coronation. Ashoka is considered as Ashok the Great. In Indian history, there are only 2 kings which are considered as great. Ashok the Great in ancient India and Akbar the Great in the medieval India. The last Mauryan king was Bridrat, who was assassinated by his own commander-in-chief, Pushyamitra Shung, in 186 BC. And this was the end to the Mauryan Empire. After the decline of the Mauryan Empire, there was a the penetration of Central Asian tribes from 186 BC to 320 AD. During this period, some of the Central Asian tribes, they migrated from Central Asia and settled down in various parts of the country. Some of the important Central Asian tribes were Parthians, Scythians, Sakas, Kushanas and so on. In 320 AD, there is the establishment of the Gupta Empire. Guptas, whose period is called the Golden Age or the Swarna Yuga in the Indian history. Its period is from 320 to 540 AD. Their first king is Chandragupta I, who ruled from 320 to 335 AD. The next king, his son Samudragupta. Samudragupta, the period of Samudragupta is 335 to 375 AD. Samudragupta was the first king who united India politically from north to south and east to west. He is the first North Indian king to conquer the South India. That is why he is styled as the Indian Napoleon. He was succeeded by his son Ramgupta, who ruled for 5 years, that is 375 to 380. The next king is Chandragupta II, the brother of Ramgupta, the younger brother of Ramgupta, and the younger son of Samudragupta, who ruled from 380 to 415 AD. Chandragupta II is also known as the Chandragupta Vikramaditya. During his time, one Chinese traveler, Fahian, visited India, who gives a beautiful description of the Indian subcontinent. Then he was succeeded by his son Kumar Gupta I, who ruled from 415 to 455 AD. During his period, one university, that is Nalanda University, was founded, and that is called the Oxford of India. He was succeeded by his son Skandgupta. Skandgupta was very brave, but he remained busy in suppressing the rebellions of the Hunas in the northwest frontier. While facing their attack, he died. He was the last important king of the Guptas. There were some other kings, but they were not so strong. And finally, the Gupta Empire came to an end, and the last king is considered as the Vigrahpal Dev. Then comes the Pushyabhutis. Pushyabhuti was one dynasty, and it used to be the feudal lords of the Guptas. And among them was the Harshvardhan. They ruled in the northern India. Earlier their capital was Thaneshwar, near Kurukshetra, present-day Haryana. And later on they shifted their capital to Kannauj. Harshvardhan was a great king of northern India, of ancient India. During his time, one Chinese traveler, Hunsong, visited. Hunsong explained the contemporary history of the northern India. Harshvardhan ruled from 606 to 647 AD, and he is considered as the last Hindu king of India. After that, there were some kings in northern India, that is the Rajputs. But Rajputs kept on fighting with one another, and the Arabians took the advantage of this internal conflict. That is why in 712 AD, they annexed Sindh. And then comes the early medieval India. That we'll discuss in the forthcoming lecture. It's all for today. Thank you very much.